Good, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. How you guys doing? 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 Whatever. I forgot my intro. Anyway, how good was Juan Pablo Montoya in NASCAR? So I think, based to my knowledge, I haven't looked anything up. Based on my knowledge, I think and if I remember this correctly, because like I told you guys, I did used to watch NASCAR back in the day, like a tad bit. I think he was number 42. I think his endorser was like Target. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was it. But we have to check out his NASCAR days. We will probably get to his F1 days, see what that was about. But let's go ahead and get into his NASCAR days. How good was Juan Pablo Montoya in NASCAR?
They're trying to clear debris off the racetrack, and the car brakes, won't steer, and he slides up the track.
Oh my God!
And into the back of that surplus helicopter jet engine on a trailer used to dry the racetrack.
Mike, I saw sparks coming out from the car as if it had a tire down or something. What an incredible turn of events! I've never in my life.
Jesus.
In NASCAR, most fans remember Juan Pablo Montoya for this embarrassing moment. This lone moment has painted over virtually any other moment that many NASCAR fans remember him for. And really, as a racing fan, it's kind of jarring to see the different points of views between NASCAR fans and other racing fans on Montoya. NASCAR fans see a driver who is an utter failure in the sport and was encapsulated in this explosive moment. Most overall motorsports fans, though, see Montoya as an immensely talented superstar that is one of the best drivers that the world has ever seen. So why is there such a difference? Montoya has driven just about everything. Any worldwide known series has been on the table for him. Formula One, IndyCar, kart, IMSA, Grand Am, and of course, NASCAR. Looking at how he's done in other series, you can see why he has been held in such high regards with other racing fans. Starting off, we can look at his performance in Formula One from 2001 to 2006. He made 94 starts, he had 7 wins, and 30 podium finishes. The 7 wins he earned ranks him tied for 38th on F1's all-time wins list out of 109 drivers to win.
That's not bad. So he has some solid success in F1. 30 podiums, though. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
He is the highest Colombian driver on that list. To do this in what is arguably the most challenging form of racing on Earth should be shown just how good Montoya is. Sticking with open wheel racing, let's take a look at Montoya's track records in IndyCar and kart. In kart, he had 10 wins and 40 starts, and in IndyCar, he had 5 wins and 53 starts. On top of this, he had a combined 13 podium finishes in IndyCar and won the 2000 and 2015 runnings of the Indianapolis 500. He won the 1999 kart championship and finished as high as second in the 2015 IndyCar standings with a 6.9 average finish. But open wheel isn't the only form of racing that Montoya has had success in his career. Montoya also won in sports car racing, scoring 6 wins across 30 races as well as 17 podium finishes in select races from 2007 to today. To say that Montoya is a versatile driver is a complete understatement. So to see him join NASCAR when the sport was at its peak popularity was something that would be absolutely rocking the racing world. And to put it bluntly, Montoya's first start was nearly as big of a story as the championship battle. His first start would be in the 2006 Ford 400, when there were 5 drivers fighting for the championship, including 4 who had never won a championship before, and also including NASCAR's most popular driver. So think of all of that, and Montoya being there still was nearly the top story of the weekend. With all this lead up, now I want to enter into the second part of this video, looking at Montoya's results in his full-time Cup career. For this, we're going to look at his best, worst, and middle running seasons, as well as his equipment to compare. Montoya's worst statistical season would be his sophomore season in 2008. While he had more top 5s and top 10s in his 2012 campaign, he had no poles, he only led 14 laps, he had 9 DNFs, and a 24th place average finish while finishing 25th in the points. Montoya's biggest problem in this season was not keeping himself out of trouble. Of his 9 DNFs, 8 of them were crashes.
How many times have we heard that? How many times have we heard that? Go back to Buddy in F1. Mr. Sir Crash a lot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Mr. Sir Crash a lot.
That contributed greatly to him finishing 30th or worse in 14 of the 36 races. Even with this, he was still the best Ganassi entry that season, as Reed Sorensen finished 32nd in the points with a 24th place average, and Dario Franchitti, who had a 34th place average finish with 10 starts. So while 2008 was bad for Montoya, he still was a top representative for Ganassi. As for his best season, well, it would take place directly after his worst, in 2009. Montoya would qualify for the chase for the Sprint Cup. He actually was a very real threat for the championship in the first half of the chase as well. He was 3rd in points after 4 races and only 58 behind leader and eventual champion Jimmy Johnson.
Of course.
Eventually, though, he would fade out of contention and finish 8th in the points. He had 7 top 5s, 18 top 10s, and a 14...
I'm going to tell you right now, top 4, Juan Pablo Montoya, Tony Stewart, Carl Vickers, and Martin.
18.2 average finish, which was a career
Jimmy
best.
Johnson.
He drastically improved his DNF count as well, from 9 to 0, making for one of the biggest comebacks of the 2009 campaign.
Greg Biffle.
But judging someone by their floor and ceiling is not the best way to see how good they were in general. So to go more in depth, I'm going to be using the Colin Cowherd method of taking the best and worst seasons out and just look.
And also, FYI, I've always liked NASCAR cars design. I think really just because of like all the like endorsements that's on the car, like the main endorsement, like the Target, whatever. Like Jeff Gordon, I think had like DuPont, something like that. Jimmy Johnson had like Lowe's. Tony Stewart had like Home Depot. Dale Jr. had like what, Budweiser. So I always thought the designs of the car were pretty cool. Plus the cars had like different like versions, like I like different skins or whatever. I also thought that was pretty cool as well.
Looking at the rest. These seasons are 2007 as well as the seasons between 2010 and 2013. There were 180 starts that he had. He scored 2 wins, 15 top 5s, 36 top 10s, 7 poles. He led 722 laps.
Whoa, what?
13. There were 180 as well as the seasons between 2010 and 2013. There were 180 starts that he had. He scored 2 wins, 15 top 5s, 36 top 10s, 7 poles. He led 722 laps, and he had 18 DNFs.
That's good.
This averages
That's
out
pretty
for a
good.
season to have a win every other season or so, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, maybe a pole, 140 laps led or so, and an average of 20th in points. His 2 wins came at both road courses that were on the schedule at the time. Sonoma in 2007 and Watkins Glen in 2010.
Watkins Glen.
In 2007, he won Rookie of the Year with his 20th place points finish. And in 2010, he had his win and a 17th place points run. In 2011, he regressed to 21st, and in 2012, he fell back again to 22nd. 2012 was also the first time in his career he failed to score a top 5 finish in a season. 2013 would mark Montoya's final season, and he would rebound a little bit with 4 top 5s and 8 top 10s, while still floundering though in the points at 21st.
Brad Keselowski.
In 2007, he was the best of the Ganassi squad, outperforming Reed Sorensen and David Stremme. From 2010 to 2013, he had 1 teammate in Jamie McMurray. McMurray outperformed Montoya with 3 wins and a 14th place points finish in 2010. Montoya, though, would eventually go ahead of him in 2011, as McMurray fell to 27th in points.
Jeez.
But over the next 2 years, Montoya fell behind him once more. During this time, Ganassi was always a mid-pack team. The fact that Montoya performed as well as he did in 2009 was honestly impressive. The rest of his career, between finishing 17th to 25th in the points, was honestly about where he should have been with those cars. This wasn't the Ganassi of the late 2010s and early 2020s that we know of today, a top-level team.
Right.
He was outperforming teammates like David Stremme and Reed Sorensen, as well as even Martin Truex Jr. in 2009, yet was second fiddle to Jamie McMurray of all people. What does this all say? I think it shows that Montoya's overall talent carried him a lot when it could. 2009 and road course races showed this the most, but most of the time he ended up running where his equipment would let him. Basically, to answer the question, Juan Pablo Montoya is a serviceable NASCAR driver. Not horrible like some exclaim, but not even close to a perennial championship driver at all. NASCAR just wasn't his form of racing.
Yeah.
NASCAR just wasn't his cup of tea. NASCAR just wasn't his cup of tea. It wasn't really his form of racing that he excelled in. It didn't fit his style much, as other series did more. With that being said now, I want to pass this on to you. How do you think Juan Pablo Montoya was in NASCAR? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. Also, be sure to catch me on 2 podcasts this Wednesday, May 20th.
So it seemed like his talent himself was pretty good for NASCAR, but if he's placing in like 20th, but if he's placing like the 20s and like the 20s in like the points position, you ain't really making a lot of noise. I mean, he wasn't really making a lot of noise. Yeah, he did win Watkins Glen. Yeah, he had some pole positions, top 10 finishes, stuff like that. But I mean, dude mentioned you had like 9 DNFs and 8 were crashes. So I mean, but I think a lot of that could go back to like his team, because he did say his team was like mid-tier. So obviously the team, maybe the equipment or the staff, whatever, just wasn't really it. But it's pretty interesting though, really pretty interesting. But we do gotta see how he was at F1. But anyway, you guys don't forget to like and sub. Comment down below, you guys' thoughts and reactions. We'll see you guys later.